You have probably seen a crow pecking at trash or sitting on a telephone wire and thought nothing of it. Common, ordinary, barely worth a second glance. But what if I told you that bird is smarter than your toddler, can hold a grudge against you for 2 decades, and might even be running a community investigation right now in your own neighborhood? In this video, you will learn 5 unbelievable facts about crows that will completely change the way you see these black-feathered geniuses. By the end, you will never walk past a crow the same way again. Before we dive in, if you love uncovering hidden secrets about the animals all around you, hit that subscribe button right now. Wings of Nature brings you a new mind-blowing fact about the wild world every single week, and you do not want to miss what is coming next. Let us start with fact number 1. Crows can recognize individual human faces, and I mean specifically. They are not just reacting to your height, your voice, or the color of your shirt. They know your actual face. Scientists confirmed this through a now famous experiment at the University of Washington. Researchers wore identical masks, capturing and banding crows while wearing one specific mask. Later, they walked around campus wearing that same mask, and the crows went crazy. They scolded, dive-bombed, and followed that mask everywhere. But here's the key. The researchers could wear any other mask and walk right past without getting so much of a glance. The crows had memorized the one face that meant danger. This ability to distinguish individual human faces is rare in the animal kingdom. Most animals can't even tell 2 humans apart, but crows do it effortlessly. There are documented cases of people befriending their local crows by offering unsalted peanuts or dog kibble, and the crows will actually return the favor by leaving behind shiny objects like buttons, coins, bottle caps, or even earrings.
Some people have received a single white pebble as a thank you gift. It sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but it is real. The bond between a human and a crow is built on the bird's ability to know exactly who you are. But it works the other way, too. If you have ever been mean to a crow, thrown a rock, chased it off your lawn, or even just shouted at it, that bird remembers your face. And here is where it gets terrifying. It will tell its friends about you. This brings us to fact number 2, and this is where things get deeply personal. Crows hold generational grudges, and I am not talking about a few days of annoyed cawing. I'm talking about 17 years or even longer. Remember the mask study I just mentioned? That experiment produced something even more remarkable. For nearly 2 decades after the original captures, any crow in that area would scold, dive-bomb, and harass anyone wearing that same mask, even crows that were not born when the original captures happened. The original crows taught their offspring which face was dangerous, and those offspring taught their offspring, and so on. Knowledge passed down through 3 or 4 generations of birds. Scientists call this social learning across generations, and it is one of the clearest examples of cultural transmission in the non-human animal world. So if you are mean to a crow today, you could be creating a local dynasty of birds that hate you for the next 17 to 25 years. Think about that next time you chase one away from your garden. That grudge is going to outlast most of your appliances, outlast your car payment, and maybe even outlast your current phone. You are essentially signing a multi-generational treaty of hostility with a bird.
Now, if you think that is impressive, wait until you hear fact number 3. Crows are one of the very few animals on Earth that can use tools and also create new tools. In the bird world, this is almost unheard of. The most famous example comes from New Caledonian crows, a specific species that has evolved an extraordinary talent for tool crafting. In laboratory settings, these crows have been observed bending straight pieces of wire into hooked shapes to fish food out of narrow vertical tubes. They did not learn this. They figured it out on their own. Other crows have learned to drop walnuts onto busy roads and wait for cars to crack them open. But here is the detail that stops scientists in their tracks. They understand traffic lights. They will place a nut at a crosswalk, fly to a nearby perch, watch the cars pass, and then wait. The moment the pedestrian light turns red and the cars stop, they hop down, retrieve the cracked nut safely, and get out of the way before the cars start moving again. That is not instinct. That is planning, timing calculation, environmental manipulation, and an understanding of human infrastructure all rolled into one tiny feathered brain. In laboratory experiments at Oxford, crows were given a series of puzzles with multiple tool options.
They consistently chose the correct tool to solve the problem on their first try, without trial and error. They looked at the problem, thought about it, and picked the right tool. That is a level of reasoning that most animals, including some primates, struggle to match. These birds are essentially flying engineers with feathers. And if you miss what comes next, you miss the real reason these birds are so terrifyingly brilliant. Fact number 4 is something that looks heartbreaking on the surface, but is actually cold-blooded logic in action.
People have reported seeing large groups of crows gathered silently around a dead crow on the ground. Videos of these gatherings go viral all the time, captioned as crow funerals. It looks mournful, it looks solemn, but the truth is even more fascinating. These gatherings are not about mourning at all. They are about investigation. Scientists describe these events as community safety meetings, or essentially a bird autopsy. The crows gather around the dead bird to gather intelligence. They scream, they call out in specific patterns, they observe the body, and they note the surroundings. Was there a predator nearby? Was it a disease? Was a human involved? They share this information vocally so that the rest of the flock can avoid the same fate. In one controlled experiment, researchers held up a dead crow while wearing a specific mask. Later, crows that had witnessed that event actively scolded and attacked anyone wearing that same mask, even if they had never seen the mask before. They learned the danger in one single observation. It is a remarkable display of collective intelligence and survival strategy, all disguised as a solemn ritual. The next time you see a crow funeral, you are not watching grief. You are watching a feathered detective squad conducting an investigation in real time. Finally, fact number 5 is the one that ties it all together and should genuinely make you reconsider what intelligence looks like in the animal kingdom. Crows are as smart as a 5 to 7-year-old human child. Scientists have put them through rigorous tests of self-control, cause and effect reasoning, multi-step planning, mental flexibility, and even the ability to understand water displacement, a concept that stumps many animals and even some young children. In one landmark experiment, crows were presented with a clear tube partially filled with water. Floating on the surface was a treat, just out of reach. The crows had a choice. They could try to grab it directly and fail, or they could drop stones into the tube to raise the water level until the treat floated within reach. The crows figured it out. They understood that adding stones would displace the water and bring the treat closer. That is a cognitive leap that requires abstract reasoning. Then there's the marshmallow test, adapted for birds. Crows were given the choice between an immediate small treat or waiting for a larger, better treat later. Many of them chose to wait. They sat there, staring at the small treat, restraining themselves because they knew a bigger reward was coming. That is delayed gratification. That is self-control. That is a cognitive skill that very few non-human animals possess, and it suggests that crows have a form of foresight. They can plan ahead. They remember past events. They communicate complex threats. They pass knowledge across generations. This puts their intelligence on par with chimpanzees, dolphins, elephants, and parrots. But unlike those animals, crows live in your backyard. They are right there every single day, solving problems that most animals cannot even comprehend. So the next time you see a crow staring at you from a branch, just know that it is evaluating you. It remembers your face, it has probably told its family about you, and it is running calculations in a brain that pound for pound rivals some of the smartest creatures on Earth. Crows are not just birds. They are feathered geniuses living right under our noses, and we are only beginning to understand how deep their intelligence really goes. If this video made you look at crows differently, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. Wings of Nature is dedicated to revealing the hidden lives of the animals we share this planet with, and we have a lot more secrets to uncover. Subscribe now, and we will see you in the next video.